it's Rob. Welcome to Axel's Garage. Well, we got that new Suburban, or new to us, Suburban 2003 Suburban, and when we bought it, we knew when we were checking it out, the instrument cluster was screwed. The speedometer was pointing down, fuel gauge didn't work, temperature gauge worked, oil pressure gauge, I believe, didn't work. It was like 3 gauges didn't work. The tach was a little bouncy. It's kind of odd, so we knew we'd have to send it out. Common problem if you've had these vehicles, especially the what do they call them, the GMT 800s, that 2000 to 2006. You know, whether it be a pickup, a Suburban, an Escalade, a Tahoe, Yukon. We've had a bunch of them, and they've all had gauge issues, except for one. The one that my son's using right now, the gray Suburban, actually gauges are fine on it, and they've never been touched. So this one, while we were waiting to do the paperwork with the owner that we bought it from, and then, you know, DMV stuff, registering it and stuff like that, and after the COVID thing, it's still just a mess. So we do it online now. It takes a little bit of time. In the meantime, I sent this cluster out. So I sent the cluster out on a Saturday. I'm in New York. They're in South Carolina, and sent it out FedEx on a Saturday. They sent me an email on Tuesday, so they got it. On Wednesday, they sent me an email, said they completed it and shipped it, and the tracking information from FedEx said I'd have it by end of business Friday. Friday, 3 o'clock, I get home from work, and it's at my door. And I use Circuit Board Medics here in South Carolina. You see it right there. And I use them because I was Googling for the gauge repair places. I had used 1 or 2 in the past, and one of them I was happy with the results, one of them I wasn't happy with the results, and the one that I was happy, I couldn't find them anymore. There's quite a few of them out there that come recommended pretty highly. I know Eric O from South Main Auto uses United, I believe it is, and they're up in either Rochester or Syracuse, but I couldn't find easy information for them online when I did a quick Google search. Circuit Board Medics, they come up right away. I've seen some reviews on Facebook and other places and forums, and everybody seems to like what they do. They were fast, the communication was excellent. We did the upgrade to the white LED lights. We didn't want to color, you know, or anything like that, but I didn't want it to be dim, because as I get older and I have glasses, and my wife as well, we don't see as good. So white LEDs, and we added the transmission temperature gauge, because as you know, the vehicle that we bought could have, or I don't know where I am in this series when this is going to get published, so I'm going to say it could have a transmission problem, might have a transmission problem, it could have one in the future. We don't know how long the transmission is going to last, and if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. But that's where I'm at with it right now. So this came in pretty much the exact same time that it took me to register the vehicle online. So all in all, less than a week from my house back to my house from Circuit Board Medics. I'm happy with that. I did get the upgrade, so I think it's about like $179 or so is the standard repair with all new stepper motors, everything works, all new backlighting. And then if you want LED lights, whatever color, it doesn't matter, it's a $30 upgrade. And if you did not have a transmission temperature gauge and you want to add one, they put one in, they reprogram it so that it functions with the transmission temperature gauge. That's a $100 upgrade. So we were like $320 or so with this shipping cost, and the shipping cost was like $14.99. You get for $14.99 on top of the cost of the repair. When you buy it, you pay the $14.99, and then they'll email you prepaid shipping labels to ship it down to them. So that, I thought that was pretty convenient. I was able to box it up nice and put the prepaid shipping label on it, give it to my son. He drops it off at FedEx. No hassle, no worries, no BS. And it came back up, wrapped nice in bubble wrap, nice and thick. I'll cut it out and we'll see what it looks like. They wrap it up nice and thick in bubble wrap. They give you a printed receipt that you can keep for your records, because you do get a lifetime guarantee, and they give you a reinstallation guide, which gives you some troubleshooting. I've never had any troubleshooting. I guess if I have trouble putting it in, I'll read that. Otherwise, this will go in my folder for that vehicle. And what else do I have here? Repair tag. So that's the guy that repaired it. And, all right, and then they even put an overlay on your lens to keep it nicey nice. All right, so we'll take that off, and you can see the lens. It's nice and clean. It's got they added the transmission temperature gauge down here in the factory location. It didn't have it initially, and this goes in pretty easy. It's one plug in the back and 4 screws, pops right in. We'll take you along with that. And they do put a label on it to void the warranty if it's removed. So if you split this open and look at it, which I would love to do, but I don't want to void the warranty, I'd love to look at the solder joints. And you know, I have done some research on how to repair these yourself, and although they make it look real easy, you know, online and YouTube videos, you know, removing the solder, removing the stepper motors and resoldering, there are a couple videos or a couple guys on YouTube that do the repairs. It's, you know, in their house, like a mom and pop operation, and they actually repair clusters that most of the companies, and now I don't know what Circuit Board Medics does for a cluster that a customer tried to repair and really screwed up the board, the electronic board in the cluster, but this guy does do the cluster repairs that went wrong. And he oftentimes will split something up like a Dorman. He did a Dorman, a video where he split open a Dorman unit, rebuilt unit, to check their solder joints and flux and treatment or whatever the hell they do to it. And the Dorman one got a, you know, fairly good review, but, you know, not great, but not bad either. But I would love to take a look inside just to see what it looked like, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to void my warranty, because that's part of what you're paying for is that, you know, lifetime warranty on this. And if you're organized and you keep your paperwork and it does go bad, you can give them a call, and I would assume they'll take care of your problem. That's the reviews on them are real good. I didn't see one bad review anywhere online about them. So $300, I got that gauge added. If I just wanted a factory replacement, it would be $179 plus $15 shipping. I think that's a pretty good deal for what you're getting on it. And like they say, if you have one stepper motor that went bad, chances are they're all going to go bad. This era stepper motors, they were just problem prone. They put new ones in, and the new stepper motors are much better than the original. So we'll go out to Old Ginger and we'll throw this in, see what it looks like, and then I'll try to get you a little clip of what the LED backlighting looks like in nighttime, and we'll throw that in the video as well. All right, so I got you propped up the best I can really get to at this point, and pretty much there's a hole in our dash, so I'm gonna go down with the tilt wheel. There's your harness. It's usually connected right up top there. I pulled it off the connector because I was having trouble getting the clip off the back of the cluster. So you gotta turn the key on and drop the shifter down so that you got enough clearance in there, and then you can come in and bring your harness, bring your cluster in and plug the harness in the back. So you got to reach around and plug it in. Goes in pretty easy. All right, and then you just set it into place where you have your holes there. I'm gonna have to move my wire around because I unhooked it from that clip all the way up on top. And I hit the hazards, I hit everything. So I'm gonna keep that wire up top and out of the way. All right, slide it in, and you'll find the locating pins and boom, it's in place. Now all you have is 4 screws from when you took it out, and I believe they were a 7 or an 8mm head. They're a 7mm head on them. I just used a simple nut driver, and I'll put those 4 screws in. In the meantime, I can blow the window. It's getting a little hot in here, and I can turn my ignition off. Try not to drop these screws because they do get lost in the bottom of the dash there. So I get them all started. I don't drive it all the way home until I have them all in. And then you just give them a little snug, you know, nothing crazy. All right, so once you get your 4 screws in, you just got to put your bezel back on. Bezel should pop on just like it popped off. There's a gazillion videos on how to take this bezel on and off. Same thing, got to have the wheel all the way down. You got to turn your key on so that you can slide it into place and slide it down so that you can get it where it starts to squeeze in. And then once you got it where it's in place here, now you're just going to find your locating tabs and pop it all in. Just give it a push, bottom and top all the way around, and it's in place. I can turn my hazards back off, and I can actually start me up here, put my wheel back, and what do I got for gauges? Okay, so I have my volt gauge is working, my fuel gauge appears to be working, temperature gauge is down low, which it should be, transmission down low, which it should be, tack moving nice and slow, nice and smooth, I should say. Seatbelt lights blinking, everything seems to be working. My oil pressure gauge is pegged high or just about near 80, which is usually indicative of a bad oil pressure sending switch, which I just did on my other Suburban. It's a blind swap, pain in the ass, so you really got to climb back there with your hand. That's no big deal though. I'll insert a picture of what it looks like at night with the backlighting. I'll grab the camera. I'll show you what it looks like during the day. All right, so there's the cluster. This is during the day, and I'll put the lights on, see if we can pick it up on camera. There's the LED backlighting. It's nice and white, not as yellow as the factory backlighting. And what I'll do now is I'll put a clip in of what it looks like at night. All right, here we are at night. It's Rob from the future. And because they're LEDs, you really don't have a dim option. So your dimming is only in your Prindle and your message display. As you can see, that'll start to dim. Then when you get down, they're all the way out. But that's the white LED. They're nice and clear. I don't know how it's coming up on camera, but they are nice and clear. I do like them like this. I think this was a better choice for me than the green. I wasn't gonna go with the green, which would have lit all the white that you see up in green, but might have been a little softer, but this really doesn't seem too bad at all. I like it. It's not too overpowering, but it's easy for my old eyes to see. So we'll continue on with the video. We'll go back to Rob in the present. All right, so this one's done. Listen, Circuit Board Medics did not pay me. They didn't give me a free cluster. They didn't give me a free repair. Nothing. I just chose them because they had good reviews online. People liked their product. They thought it was a reasonable price. I think their turnaround was great. Their communication was great. Really easy to do. Hopefully it'll hold up, and if I have a problem in the future, hopefully they warranty it. It's supposed to be a lifetime warranty. I got no complaints right now, and like I said, I paid for it with my own money, and if I have a complaint, I'll be sure to let you know. But I'm happy with this one. If you're looking for a gauge repair, that's been my experience with Circuit Board Medics. Great communication, which you don't see a lot nowadays, and 6 days from my door in New York back to my door in New York, all the way to South Carolina and back, and I'm happy with that. Couldn't be happier. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.